probably going to just be way more active. NTS always does play more active. And always have to talk about, too, the Brew, right? They're one of the teams that are always going to be opening, I feel like, with the Brew because they have one of the best Brew players.
Xiaoyu definitely has proven himself on already this stage. I think that they saw that ward Alacrity. Just a guess. And Planet is going to give the high five, signaling that, yes, indeed, I do know that your ward is there.
Alacrity's like, I'm going to pretend that I don't see the high five. Haha. But no, they absolutely saw it. Give it to the tower there. So, yeah, I'm always looking forward to seeing him playing his Brew, his Darks here. He has proven himself multiple times. And, yeah, LGD, of course, have just looked amazing, really. And we're seeing this a lot, too. This Tidehunter picked into Brewmaster. I think it's one, even two of the times versus it. But I'm always like, I actually like Brew versus Tide because you can just ignore him in a lot of fights. Also, Brew versus Tree. I think this is an underutilized aspect of Tree is dispelling overgrowth off of your allies. So,
oh, wow, yeah.
Big thing that you can actually do with that Wind Panda to counteract. There's some players that are absolute gods, like on Brew, when they're using the dispels to literally do like any little thing, remove silence off of teammates, just anything like that. So eyes on that to perhaps switch things up in the fights.
That would completely destroy his hero if they do decide to go for that. But already, as everybody heads off across the map, it's going to be a trade-off of bounty runes. It looks like LGD is going to end up with 2 to 2 there.
Yep.
You know, it's interesting to me also. You see some of these like players coming over from Southeast Asia end up playing in the mids. Nothing to say playing now on this Mars. Alacrity, every time I feel like I've seen some of these players pop off, it feels like every Southeast Asia player has a mid puck, like, or even like a support puck or what have you.
Yeah, they're great at these like specialized heroes. These heroes that when there's like not enough disables for them, sometimes can just explode in this game. And hey, looking at this game, there is a bit of limited disable perhaps for the puck. So Alacrity could definitely make some big things happen. But we'll see how that lane phase goes. I haven't seen Mars versus Puck since Mars has received all of these nerfs, but I would imagine that it's still pretty okay for the Mars.
Yeah, seems so far to be able to get last hits here, definitely. And Alacrity need to use that orb to secure it. With the Quelling Blade, always going to be tough to get that sort of damage disadvantage working.
Yeah.
But a D ward there onto the hard camp. So Planet, I knew they're going to have access to it if they want. XCJ moves in. And the big tree throws out the Sprout, backs away, and just going to try and bully him here if he can.
Very easy lane to kind of secure there for the Lina when you have Tree and protection. Once the levels start coming up for the Brewmaster and Hoodwink, maybe they can start applying a bit more pressure, but early on, it always tends to be the start for Brew. It starts a little bit slow. Oh, they actually get that range deny. What the?
That was a couple of denies in a row right there.
Yeah.
Doing a really good job on Knights. I think also a lot of people maybe coming into this wouldn't have anticipated that much from this team, just randomly Knights, people that know about it. Then you start looking at these names and you're like, oh, I actually know these guys. And they are one of the teams that I was anticipating having a really good season. I think everybody in our crew was talking about this could be a breakout team. This is really the type of matchup that you would hope to see them perform somewhat well. This
is the test, absolutely. This is to see how good they are, because we've all been hyping up Ego. I think all of us have been really impressed by him. Alacrity's made some heroes shine that, well, we know that the heroes are good, but he's made like Viper Scale really cool with like some really interesting like Revenant Brooch builds. So up top.
Yeah, nice little start to this one. Shiro in trouble. That's first blood. Felix Chauba draws it against Shiro.
That's important for them to start out like this in the lane. This lane can get difficult for Tide if you don't have those first few levels versus a TA plus the Enchantress, the Impetus plus that minus armor and stuff. But yep, they find him alone for a second. They get the toss back. Felix has been... He's another one to highlight really for Knights. His Rubik has been phenomenal. The saves with the Shard constantly in all the games and always seeming to get those good opportunities of catches. Oh, Courier.
Nicely played there. Picks off another one. And he has boots coming out after that first blood gold.
That's big.
Needs to deal with the power of that Enchantress messing with him constantly. Planet, in the meantime, going to get a side pull off here on the bottom lane.
Did they get the interrupt? Ego, he's pinging for it. Oh, they get clapped on both heroes, and the waves actually there too. So
okay,
LGD, it's hit hard.
Oh, and the courier goes down, so he doesn't get his boots. Well played by Why You Smile.
He has that lane ward there. Guess it did catch it beforehand. That will mean that Felix does get the counter ward.
Well done, well done. So 20-3 in mid versus 12-2. So as you're saying, some changes there to Mars, but the base damage still really hard to deal with.
Yeah, no way that Puck can even bully by any means, of course. And Puck's also gotten some changes and nerfs and whatnot too, so Definitely seeing that effect. There's nothing to say. He's been also every lane, I think he's been dominating, no matter what matchup he's up against.
He's been a monster.
Yeah.
I mean, this entire team has, but I mean, you get these types of kills here in this top lane. This is a great start for Flyby. He's currently top of the last hits chart. And, you know, Shiro, this is a guy that's kind of been completely dominating every game that we've seen him in so far. I feel like he hasn't even died that many times. Already one death under his belt and getting some punishment here by virtue of Flyby.
It's going to be a bit of a slow start for him, but he's a TA, so he will have recovery outlets. I imagine they're going to start getting stacks very early on. And seeing the Q up there from Flyby, I like this. He's got a little casual ring of regen. Wants to go for, of course, like this mech kind of build, but he's about to have arcane boots as well. So him and Felix, they're going to be able to continue to apply pressure because he's going to be able to fill up that mana of the Rubik. Let's see how they're able to do to continue shutting down this TA.
Get some punches there with Felix moving in. They have those arcanes, passes it over. So the Fade Bolt is there. Damage has the lift just barely out of range.
Gush.
Well, slowed, pulls him back in, and no, doesn't even need it. So they have the lift still for Shiro. He has to back away. Huge wins up top.
Yeah, great plays. Full free farm on the Tide, slowing down the TA. It's really just that big disparity in the mid lane right now for the lanes.
Yeah, that is the one that is sort of seeing the danger zone. And around that 6-minute mark, we'll see if these supports start rotating over. We can already see Felix making the move from top. Not sure if Nothing to Say is going to secure any extra help from his supports too. Now, getting close for that 6-minute rune.
Yeah, I think they can perhaps, I don't know about if they want to move the tree as well too, because you don't want to ever really leave the Lina too alone, because she is quite fragile. So yeah, I think you can just play Felix over here and just leave the Tide now. Just keep rotating around those power runes and try to secure them for your puck. As the coil's actually at the ready.
This is really big for him. If they can get it, tries to get the kill. Can't get the break though.
What?
Just barely out of range, but it's not going to matter. They still get the kill.
That looked like it was far enough to break it, but I guess not.
Yeah, the high ground, right? The changes because of that. I'm sure the Z-axis was the culprit.
Something like that. That was crazy. As Courier will get taken out, and Alacrity in the aggressive position is able to actually take the bounty rune. Big moves. Knights 2K gold lead already.
Oh, why you smile? Wants to chase down Alacrity here. This is a little bit scary for him, and oh, good jump away from Alacrity. I don't know if it's going to matter, though. They have Felix moving in. They miss on the stomp, and Alacrity just barely able to play his way out.
Huge plays. Really good. I mean, amazing start. And they can actually, looks like they can move a little bit away from the Lina, just being able to make these early rotations is catching PSG.LGD off guard. So lanes definitely looking Knight favored.
Yeah, this is super interesting. You know, I was thinking about this game when we were coming in and, you know, the way that Knights would need to win. And it feels like they have to sort of build momentum in game one and try and just go for 2-0. If LGD pull it back, if they're able to, even in this type of a game, I feel like any moment where they let their foot off the gas and it's going to be a problem. You can see Knights just continue the snowball.
Yeah, it's always, I mean, playing versus one of the best teams in the world, right? You always, one throw, one little mistake or something like that, PSG.LGD has shown they always can make these comebacks. This, yeah, 2K, or maybe even a little bit more than a 2K lead right now with a Lina on the lineup. That's the important thing we always have to dictate to, is they've got this Lina. Although they do have some answers versus it with that Mars ult, with the Brew being able to get on top of her, as well as the TA at some points being able to get on her. But the start like this looks pretty excellent. I mean, this is going to be an unbelievably fast Maelstrom. Hard for Brewmaster to lane versus this because of that damage that comes in from Javelin. If he steps up, could just get stunned Lagunaed in 2 or 3 hits and he's dead. Yeah,
level 6 about to be there for Lina. And the maximum turret build, like you're saying, you have that Falcon Blade, you have Maelstrom. Who needs boots?
Yep. They can't make it to him anyway, and also she has enough movement speed just for Fiery Soul, right? So,
yeah.
Ridiculous hero. As of course, we've seen time and time again now. How close are we there on the Brew Split? Brew Split's about to be online, so that's one that's going to be able to easily run down the Lina. So, ooh, actually does not get it. Planet is in the tree line, does sap a bit of that XP. So one away.
Yeah, he's just out of range of it. And Lina, in the meantime, is retreating back to the rest of the jungle. They're going to keep Tree down here to try and stop the pressure. So this is, again, one of the ways that we've seen Tree be really annoying is Laguna Blade.
Whoop!
Finds Planet, a couple more hits, dies to the Javelin proc. Really good stuff from Ego.
Just has that high ground vision there, so just watches the Hoodman walk into him, a freebie.
Man, what a good start. Nothing to say. Makes the move. Wants to run down Flyby here. Does have Ravage available and a mech. This is not an easy kill by any stretch of the imagination with Felix Chauba nearby. Have the coil, the rotation from Alacrity. Gonna start to fall. Ravage to boot. Shiro in trouble. Can they find this kill on TA2? You Smile shows up, wants to get a return kill on a Felix Chauba, but with the brew moving in, that's Knight's turn to back away from there. Felix Chauba tries to TP away, but you get the lift up, and it looks like Flyby should be okay. Maybe, although Alacrity, he decides to go back in. So they kill Flyby. Shiro will meld, get out of there. They get the kill onto Rubik. So Knight's sticking around a bit too long, and LGD making solid moves rotating to protect their cores.
Big rotation from the brew, and he has got the earn charges, so we'll be able to heal Shiro right back up. Find themselves some type of footing back into this game. I mean, again, losing the Mars after that excellent start in the laning phase. He's still actually looking pretty fine on net worth. He's ahead of the puck still after all those last hits and everything, even though he's died. So, all in all, a lot of that separation in gold is kind of just the Lina.
Yeah.
That 2,000 gold lead, it's like Lina and a little bit of that Tidehunter. Besides that, game actually doesn't look that disastrous or anything for PSG.LGD. They're still in an okay spot.
Well, and you think about what that was committed. It was Brewald, it was Marzult, all these things, and Lina the entire time is free farming. So, they get a couple of consolation kills, but LGD, we'll see what they can go for. This is a nice kill right here, bringing down XCJ. Will be not caught by Bushwhack. And in fact, he's running it. Dude, this is not the way it's supposed to go for nothing to say. They chase in with Alacrity, trying to do what damage they can with Ego off to the side here. Trying to bring down Jianyu.
Alacrity?
He's still hunting, still fighting. He's caught by the Bushwhack now, tries to hide. Does have another jaunt available and nothing to say. He's going to get chased down and killed. So Alacrity just zoning 3 heroes away as they kill that Mars.
And really trying to persist forward to kill the Treant, but look at the Treant. XCJ's full HP. The power of Leech Seed, power of Living Armor. There's a reason this hero is getting first pick across several different regions. He's obnoxious, and you try to punish him, and then it just turns completely onto you because you can't actually finish him off.
Knights. Why you smile?
Steps up.
See there, LSA barely going to connect, and with the overgrowth right on top of him, Jianyu, he's going to fall. A quick move in for the kill, nothing to say. Has to just run away after. And a great start for Knights.
Amazing start. Quickly get right back into increasing that gold lead. 4K quickly after these last 2 moves. And Tide Ravage is at the ready. As you mentioned, he has the mech too. So can look to maybe make a rotation up there. But yeah, Knights making all the right moves right now. There are some stacks starting. They are late though on the side of PSG.LGD. Planet has just started them. So only a double around the Ancients and Hard Camp for that TA to catch back up.
And you can see, I wonder if Why You Smile takes the... Okay, I thought he might take the Troll Creep to try and do some damage to these towers, but instead the Mana Burn. 4,000 gold lead right now, and stacks being built in the Radiant jungle too.
And Ego's actually, instead of going for those stacks right now, he sees the tower top open for an attempted push, and he's going to go for it. So he will have those stacks to go back to afterwards. And continuing to make these really nice moves in PSG.LGD. They've got their ults at the ready. Where are they going to look to hit? Because they have to start getting some type of momentum at least back toward them. Because, yeah, this Lina is going to just out-farm the TA at an immense rate at this point.
Right. Well, and the one thing that you mentioned again, and why this TA pick can be good if it works out later on for them, is that they have a tremendous amount of team fight on LGD. And we haven't really been able to see that work together in perfect concert yet. It's been Knights that's kind of one step ahead. Yeah.
The slow start is definitely going to be problematic for PSG.LGD versus this Lina, this Tree, this Tide, this also immense amount of team fight that there is there. It's Flyby.
Dude, just TPs in and says, I don't care. Don't gotta worry about this at all. Nothing to say. Moving towards him too. XCJ is nearby, has the overgrowth, and again, Mech, does he keep him alive? He pops it finally there. Has Ravage available, but super low, and Flyby is going to die. Didn't pop the Ravage. Back up in 30 seconds. Alacrity spots a couple. They try to break the coil, but it's not going to work. Still taking down this Hoodwink, but not fully enough for the kill. Suddenly, LGD with more numbers, they really get the punish here.
They brought all 5 so quick there, and there you saw the break from the Sharpshooter versus that Tide. Unable to get Kraken off, so he can't get a good Ravage situation, good mech. And they even find the Tree too. So PSG.LGD, they find themselves kind of back in the game. Still 3K gold advantage, but they're going to be able to get this tower. And Shiro on his way toward a Deso, so his timings are all going to be salvaged.
This is what you want to see if you're a PSG.LGD fan. And Alacrity, he's trying to get towards a Witchblade eventually to get that extra armor to survive against it. But it's really feeling like Lina's going to be the one that has to get those carry boots on once she gets in towards that BKB or what have you.
Mm-hmm. It doesn't look on paper the easiest for the Lina, although on paper hasn't really mattered too much for the Lina. She's been just doing great in all matchups. But yeah, there are a lot of ways for them to get on her, and yeah, we'll see how that ends up happening. As Deso soon on the horizon for PSG.LGD, and it's always going to be in the back of the minds of Knights is the Roshan at some point pretty soon. They have to be very careful how they do use some of these long duration ult cooldowns.
That's a good point, yeah, because Roche very capable of being taken by either side here. TA obviously significantly quicker with that Deso, but 14 minutes in, and it does feel like maybe that could also set up for trying to take one of these tier 2 towers so the reinforcements can't come as quickly. We'll see. Knights head through, spot nothing to say. Does he spot them? Thinking about stepping forward here, just out of range.
Ward is in range of the sentry.
Okay, I see him now.
Get taken out. I think they did catch it. Yeah, I did catch some visions for a second, so should be okay on NTS.
Oh, their ward is just out of vision. So now they see that it's there, and they'll be able to get the D ward, I think. No, maybe not.
Scared to step a bit too far forward. Get caught by the Ogre Smash.
Dude, it always feels so dumb when that happens to me. Like, really? I couldn't have seen that coming?
The amount of times I see even pro players TP in front of it.
Right.
I think there was like a Saberlight clip a few weeks ago where he did the same thing. Ooh, nice deny.
Why you smile?
Economy game.
That's what you want to do. Well, again, back towards mid. Offlaners holding this one down. Farm Fest to get into the next set of items. Greaves done along with the casual cloak for that Tidehunter.
Link already on Brew, so they already have one outlet to be able to jump right into the face of that Lina. And it's back up, the split. So they could look to make a move. Right now they are prioritizing finishing off the Deso, which I think is coming out right now. And now they're going to look to make their hit.
Yeah. Who are they going to find, though, as they head on through the jungle? Up top is Rubik. It doesn't really look like there's anybody that's an easy target right now. Tree and Rubik, the only two on this side of the map. They're going to TP back out, head towards mid. And it looks like a smoke ink that won't be able to bear any fruit.
Top tower is under attack.
Buying time. Feels like they just want more and more time for Shiro, since they did have that bit of a rough laning phase right now, just looking for any type of kill. Don't want to go for a straight maybe 5v5 team fight, but if they have numbers, then PSG.LGD could look to take the fight.
It does sort of feel like things are starting to tilt back that direction. Nothing to say. Get the jump out, and now the spear, it's going to be there right away. He's gone. No save at all. Flyby was too far away. They get the lift up onto Tide. Can take the fight around him, trying to bring down that Rubik. He's going to land in just a moment here. Pops the Grieve, keeping alive that Rubik, but with the chase coming and another lift, I mean, they're just gone.
This is what happens when you pick Tide sometimes into Brew. You just get ignored, thrown in the fight constantly, and then they just commit for the other two. The build from Nothing to Say coming into play immediately. The Yules catches the puck right away. He lands, gets that spear off onto him. And yeah, they brought numbers this time, but they're now they have to back away. No ults available. Back out to farming. Things have been completely stabilized for PSG.LGD. They're probably feeling pretty good now.
Well, and now getting eyes for Ego onto that BKB. You got to start sweating a little bit. Maybe a little bit concerned about how these next couple of minutes could go here. As, like you said, things swinging back into the favor of PSG.LGD. And it's sort of just waiting. Like, if they can't get anything done right here when the Brew splits down, when, you know, Mars Arena's down, it's feeling a little bit rough for Knights.
They should be able to. Now is the time when they should go aggressive with these ults on cooldown. Flyby is very strong. So, this tower, likely to drop.
Couldn't quite get that deny there from the Hoodwink. Up top, Alacrity. He's hiding off in the trees, as it looks like some of the rest of Knights is heading up there too.
They're waiting for him to jump in. He knows, he's aware.
Tree nearby, just out of vision right now. Alacrity, they spot him immediately. And there's the dodge away. Can they slow these heroes down? Planet, gonna throw at that bushwhack, and that's the end of the chase.
Both teams very aware of each other. It seemed like they're kind of reading the movements. There you go. Soon, it's about to be finished. Then, yeah, he can look to get involved, and then fighting around the Ravage with the Lina, that's going to be something else that PSG.LGD is going to have to deal with.
You look at that. Grove Bow for Lina, Grove Bow for TA and Specialist Array for Lina. That is both a couple of really good neutral items for him.
Yeah, Shiro also just hits 15, so now he's got the attack range as well on top of that grow bow. Exact same synergy timing, so does have that crazy range even on a TA. I say crazy range, but it's crazy for TA.
Yeah.
Give a little bit of credit.
So I'm curious now, how do these fights look for you where it can go well for Knights? Because every couple of minutes we've just been seeing LGD drop their ultis, get kills on one or two really valuable heroes. What do Knights need to do?
If they can get the initiation and burst the Brewmaster before, like with the puck getting a catch, then they can start with this big advantage and they can sequence their Tide ult, their Tree ult, etc. However, if LGD gets the initiation, there could be this situation where the Tide's just thrown in the air the whole entire duration of the fight, and things could get a bit scary. But with Ego, with BKB, they're feeling confident to make this aggressive move.
And John Yu, like you said, that's what they needed to do. LSA connects, they kill him off. 30 seconds on the sidelines, and
they try for this.
They're thinking about it.
They're pinging it. I think they will. They got a Brigand's Blade on the Lina, and they're gonna have that gush, so that minus armor is being put into play. Will PSG.LGD know this is happening? And will they even look to contest?
There's a couple of seconds left until Brew is back up. You don't want to buy back here. Yeah, and it looks like they're going to get this one for free. Tier 1 tower getting taken at the same time by PSG.LGD. So that's something for them. But Knights, they're going to claim the first Aegis after getting that Brew snipe.
Always feels good to get that. Versus a TA lineup, now you have it on the Lina, so not only just has a BKB, but also has that secondary protection. On top of having that tanky, Tide Hunter in most fights in the front line. There you go. 6-0.
Yeah, he's had a really good game. And I think now we're probably going to start seeing more and more of that domination with the BKB. He can feel a little bit more free to run in these fights and be there with the team. Still, like you were talking about, has to be careful about getting caught out. But there isn't that much BKB piercing disable from PSG.LGD.
Yeah, there's none. None whatsoever. They just got the straight physical damage, at least, that pierces through. But whoop, up top.
Good blink away. Keeps him alive. And the rest of Knights, with the exception of Flyby, heading on in. Does he decide to go here? The rest of the team moving in that direction, but no. Just going to catch the wave. Try and play the farming match until this Aegis expires and see what they can do as far as damage mitigation on their objectives.
Shiro's keeping up. They're neck and neck. Look at these net worths. Like,
yeah.
Everybody's just about even. It's pretty awesome, actually.
Yeah, the Brew is a little bit behind there,
Yeah.
but I mean, again, it's like these top cores are the ones that really matter. And well, in fact, Brew jumps in. He can make something happen here. This would be huge. With Enchantress already dead, he can get the kill onto this Rubik. But Overgrowth, okay, maybe he can't. Never mind. The Greaves are there, and now Jianyu's in trouble. Has the lift up onto Lina. This is pretty good with Shiro on top of him, but they've already lost and used a lot for this. So Brew trying to run away, Flyby, saving that Ravage, not opting to go for it. Nothing to say. He has Blink and Arena. Drops it down, catches XCJ. Brew, he's jumping in too. Ego thinks about fighting this one. He's still hanging on to that BKB. He's held it for so long. And it looks like without the rest of his team nearby, he's just going to have to go back to farming.
It's crazy how much the Bruce Split's able to just do that. I thought maybe the Lina's able to hit it, but he just throws the Lina up in the air over and over again.
Yeah.
So great stuff there from Xiaoyu.
And of course, if he does pop BKB to try and hit the Brew, then Mars comes in afterwards.
Exactly. So both teams are really quite aware of how these fights are going to be dictated. And we saw there that Brew thing that we were talking about earlier, right? The dispel on the root instantly. He's always allowed to keep going aggressive.
Tree armor on top of it for Lina, sitting at 2200 HP at the moment, and much more to gain as more items are going to be coming out soon. Nothing to say, pushes down bottom. They're still positioned up on the top side of the map.
They want to start getting some tower pressure. They want to get some type of pressure play with that Aegis, and they want to take advantage of Bruce Split and Mars being down. So looking to make this move forward. Alacrity in the area with Coil.
30 seconds on Bruce Split, and Arena about to be back up. As they throw out the Illusory Orb, doesn't quite catch there on the planet, killing the creep wave, but Tier 2 tower going to go down. At the same time, Enchantress creeps doing what they do, the Troll Summoner. Very annoying to deal with.
He's been trying.
Yeah.
This tree arm is just stalling out these pushes quite a lot here. Otherwise, I think PSG.LGD would have gotten this bottom tower already. But still keeping it neck and neck, 12-9, less than 1k lead. how long on this ages. A minute 30. Ultra all going to be starting to come back up very soon.
It is interesting. Like, two of the heroes that people are thinking is like the best in the world, this Tree Lina, and Knight's able to get both of them. LGD really wanting to test themselves in these games, it feels like.
Yeah, it definitely does. I mean, I feel like this is the most popular duo that we're going to be seeing until teams really start to figure out how to deal with it. It just looks, it's good at all bases, right? It's great for all stages of the game. BKB piercing disables.
Gives you everything.
Good in lane, it gives you everything. Tide TA gives you everything.
It's, yeah, top side. Mars is there. Do they want to go on him? Yes. The jump, the connection, the coil, and Yule Scepter keeps him alive for a moment, but only a moment. As they bring down Nothing to Say. They're just not letting him do anything on this lineup.
No. They keep killing him. He's still keeping up in farm, though. But, yeah, they are shutting him down significantly. Getting close to BKB, that's going to help a lot so he doesn't just get coiled and get brought down. But they're doing a great job of recognizing the fact that he is still relatively squishy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, needs to get into one of those other sort of big defensive items. BKB is on the horizon for him, but eventually, too, needs some armor. Game is hard right now for LGD in some ways. Do you think that they're at all like super concerned about it right now, or do you think that they still feel like their timing is later and they can sort of get there?
I think they're still pretty fine. This TA is keeping up, right? He's level 19. Lina, I believe, was even below that. I believe Ego, actually, they saw, level 18. So Shiro, he's keeping up. He's doing excellent, if not even surpassing that. So I think they're fine with all this. I mean, sure, they would have liked to come out of the lanes a little bit better, but they've got team fight. They've got scalability. Don't think that they're the most fussed.
Well, you can see getting into the Silver Edge next, so they'll have another break to use besides just the Hoodwink ulti on Flyby.
That's cool. I like it. Because that one can't be dispelled. Right. So, of course, Silver Edge can't be dispelled. However, Sharpshooter can be. Those Greaves early on are always going to make it a little difficult for them to just go for a burst play. And now, Smoke again. They've got every ult ready. Knights, they want to keep this pace up. They know what type of advantage they do have right now. See who they catch.
Heading over trap. Smoke covered them, though.
Look at Planet's positioning here.
Yeah, he's so ready for this. Immediately jumps away. Really well done on that Hoodwink.
The positioning is the important thing, right? Because he's playing... Ooh, actually, that ward is not going to catch the obs either. He's playing between the area that he expects them to kind of smoke to and his important hero, that TA, who is showing down bottom. He knows that they're trying to catch this TA, trying to slow down Shiro. So if he just plays there, then cool.
Oh, that's a break and some damage. I was wondering if TA was still in the area or not, but doesn't look like it. So Ego is going to TP up top now, try and play together with his team, see if he can find anybody there. There's the Enchantress.
Ooh. Why?
Oh, God.
Oh, my. He'll be all right. And he keeps doing it. He's been doing this every time he gets a creep. He just sends it onto a tower to beat on it. Slowly whittling them down. Does get living armor, of course, but...
Oh, and this.
The Ags is up.
Yeah, this is going to be real annoying for him.
Dispel. This will always allow him now, even without Bruce Split, to help his allies with those dispels or throwing up the Tidehunter or throwing up the Lina. I mean, there's so many different functions that Brew can always do to prevent big team fight.
Needs to be careful about spending too much of that mana. I guess they probably have Arcane Boots on somebody, but it's one of those that can be kind of annoying. And of course, the lift up onto Flyby. Whether or not they want to go on them, they could just be annoying.
Thinking about it.
A little bit of a weird way to go onto that one. They miss, though. They don't get the break. XCJ right on top of both of them. They get the lift for a second round of this.
Alacrity.
And Alacrity is the one that catches onto all. Gets the kill onto that Hoodwink. Enchantress goes down as well, and they're chasing. This Brewmaster is in death's door. Can he get the blink away? Doesn't look like it. Orb inside of him. No way out. Knights just looking solid.
Beyond godlike on Ego. They tried for a pretty, I mean, it looks like a pretty risky kind of play there for LGD. They tried to go like the spear back, they cancel, they kind of miss, and then they actually missed the entire go, as you mentioned. Sharpshooter ends up missing. Total disaster for them as they have to just kind of waltz away, but Alacrity catches them.
That looked like it should have hit, to be honest. It was so close. But yeah, this is, if that initiation doesn't go well, the turnaround is just instant.
And I like the flyby. Actually, I mean, he held on to the Ravage too, so now for the next fight, he still has that available. Knights continuing to impress. Blink Dagger also on the Tide, so now he's got a way to get into the TA. And just talk about quick little itemization things too. He's gone for the Halberd afterward, or before he did get that Blink Dagger, so... Whoop. quick snap on Felix. He's got a great method versus TA on that Tidehunter. So yeah, they're ticking all the boxes. They understand exactly what they're playing against. It's looking really good, but LGD, they're keeping neck and neck, at least with net worth.
Oh, and BKB off cooldown, 2 seconds away before he dies. Oh, God, that hurts. And you know what else? I wanted to give a shout out to Ego here. Still hasn't used that BKB. He's been incredibly judicious with it in a couple of fights and just knowing that he can hold it.
Look at you with these words, judicious. I like it. There we go. Yeah, they're very confident. You can feel it the way that they're playing around the map, the way that they're constantly hunting NTS. Like, they're making nothing to say really suffer this game. He's keeping up with net worth, as we keep saying, but 1, 5, and 4 is a rare sight to see for nothing to say.
It's almost crazy how much they've been able to keep up with net worth, despite how often it feels like they're just being bullied around the map.
Yeah, the TA's able to just keep up with the farm.
Well, an interesting moment here for Knights, who were definitely coming in as the underdogs. And you think about now where we're at with them, things looking pretty freaking good in this game number 1. They get the lift. Do they have...
Didn't blink the refraction in time.
Yeah, that's a little unfortunate there.
That can actually change a lot of things here now. So Bruce Split's back online. PSG.LGD, with that Ravage being used, could look to perhaps make a move.
They're thinking about it. They don't have Mars with them, though. And lift up on the flyby.
So annoying.
It really is.
Seeing Y is constantly throwing the Ogre Frost Mage armor onto all of his buddies, so making sure they're a little more protected versus that Lina. The little things are definitely going to be the things to look at in these fights.
Yeah, they need whatever they can get on it, honestly.
And now they do have a Silver Edge, so they've got that secondary break. Also, didn't point out that Shard was purchased earlier for the TA, apologies, but versus Puck, that can be problematic. And now, LGD looking to try to take advantage of that Ravage being down.
Move in to the high ground. They're all there. And the Bruling won't be able to spawn anybody. A counter smoke now.
Rosh, 20 seconds. Ravage will not be ready around that Rosh pit.
Well, they still are very strong, and instead it's going to be a haste.
Oh, I didn't know the scan actually went onto the primal Ags illusion thing. Good to know.
They spot nothing to say. Silence onto him to start. Rosh 8 seconds away, not going to use the coil there, but recognizing their positioning. And of course, when Rosh respawns with that trap in the pit, they're going to know full well what's going on here. Shiro. It's the break. Gives a little, hey, how you doing? And then they back away. Yeah, this one is super tense. I mean, this could be everything.
This moment is the most important part of the game. They're going to start, it looks like, perhaps. They take out the wards. Gleipnir.
LGD, Felix Chauba jumps in. That would have been a great Ravage. Doesn't have it, though. Rubik already dead. He has to buy back. They need everybody in this fight. Break onto the Tide. Tries to run away. Gets the Lotus Orb off, actually. And now the lift up onto Lina. Did not pop that BKB yet, and in a lot of trouble.
Ego.
The control, but the overgrowth is there. Do they have the Dispel? Didn't end up popping it. I think that Bruling died.
I think it did.
But with Tide already dead and no buyback. Oh, good Yule Scepter lift up.
Oh, he stole Primal. He stole the split.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God. All right.
So that could be pretty huge. And they're going to call it right away. They're probably like, uh-oh, now we perhaps can't actually commit for this Rosh. And that's going to give time maybe for Ravage to come back online.
They want to do this fight before Tide's back up. 20 seconds.
They want to catch the Rubik. They want to make sure they can get him before he gets split off.
That would be a dieback for him as well. But need to be careful about that angle of initiation. Alacrity throwing out the orb. They walk forward. Don't spot anybody quite yet. And really heads-up play by Knights to keep their positioning in a good spot. Alacrity hits that Panda. Almost killing it off here. And Felix Chauba runs in. He's got the ulti out and trying to force back LGD. Doing a good job of it.
Yeah, it looks like he just wanted to use it to give a blanket for their timing, for their ults to come back up, right? Puck has the coil ready. Also, to point, Puck bought a Lotus Orb, so it does have a way to remove the silence from those TA traps as well, too. So they're all kind of covering each other. And Ravage is back up. So now PSG.LGD, a bit more hesitant to just run in.
And at the same time, they're going to try and get some counter pressure on the map down bottom. Enchantress keeping that creep alive and hitting away at this tower with a catapult. But seeing that, they decide to head right on in. Ego beating down Rosh.
It's dying fast.
They see this Bruling coming into the pit. Ego there kills it instantly. So they won't have one available. And Brew Split still 20 seconds away. They've got time right now. That Bruling dying is huge. They get the Bushwhack out, connects onto both of them, but the BKB Ego gets the Aegis in time, snatches it away from Nothing to Say, and now trying to kill off this Bruling. They get him down, they get him killed. Huge win for Knights.
Great way of taking all these fights. Like, they're even just, I think they had vision at some point just to see where this Brew and the angle of the Mars coming in, so they're constantly poking and stopping their Blink Daggers. Nice play. And yeah, excellent play from Ego. Very quick on the fingers with the BKB that time. No messing around. He's able to claim that Aegis. And now they have Ravage, as we saw pointed out also. The Shard was picked up by the Tide, and he's 18.
God, this looked like it could have been their moment, and it was so close to being there.
Ooh. You know what actually also happens here that didn't call it in the moment, but when you jump in Mars ult, when you have that tree down from the Bushwhack, it actually cuts the tree. So it removes the stun, which actually allowed Ego to get that BKB up before the spear hits him.
Wow, that is unfortunate.
That's big. And now a Rax advantage. They also just find Planet by himself also. Looking to continue, but they don't actually have a creep wave just yet, so they're back up.
One is coming in mid there. And I mean, the reality is there's not much that you can do in that instance. You can't spear somebody to Roche on that side, if I'm not mistaken.
No, that Roche pit is a trap. You never want to use... They never get latched inside of there. It always shoots them out. I mean, he can do the crazy play where you spear into Mars ult or something. But either way, he's going to have a frame to get that BKB on the Lina. But
right.
Yeah, a little bit of anti-synergy, of course, with that Bushwhack, Acorn plus Mars thing.
Well, AC completed on Lina.
Oh, boy. The turret, it's there.
It's so strong.
Yeah.
And I mean, you know, you pick this TA ostensibly to try and counter Ego, get that high damage out there here without that much armor, but I honestly don't know if I've seen them hit each other almost at all. It feels like the TA has just not been able to find Ego.
Shiro's done a good job of playing on the outskirts of the fights. That's the thing,
Right.
because he can't actually commit in. He knows if he commits in, he's just going to die. So, I mean, good plays from him still, but they're still just falling further and further behind from the macro game from Knights. And yeah, talking about the AC plus living armor, I mean, this Lina is sitting at in incredible amounts of armor. I actually don't think that shows as much as he does have. I think he has more than that.
I mean, yeah, it's enough.
Either way, he has a lot of armor. And he's got Greaves, so.
A little lift up here. It's going to be standing tall, Planet. Spots fly by.
Radiant's top tower is
And
under
dropping
attack.
down some stuff there. Ego tries to TP out.
Up top.
Ooh, nothing to say. Gets the coil down, BKB there, and just going to TP out. So will dodge away from the damage, but cost him a BKB charge.
Yeah. Will they be able to do anything now that Coil's on cooldown? They still have to play into a plethora of ults. But it feels like maybe they kind of have to. It does feel like they're starting to fall kind of further and further behind, even though they're still like looking decent on the net worth. You're feeling this power of Ego that when are they actually going to be able to deal with him? Because at some point he's going to have a Satanic now next too, so he's going to be able to hold his ground.
Drops the tendrils, finds why you smile, and trying to escape here. Gets the lift up, but they're making enough time for good old Ego to come on in and finish him off. As the silence, the connection for the kill. He's too strong.
He's too strong. I like how he also doesn't stun the Hoodwink. He stuns the Brew,
Right.
Wind Panda instead, just to make sure. I like it.
I mean, that is the one thing. Like, everybody talks about how good this Aghanims is, but it's a pretty big cost if you end up losing that Panda. You know, it goes on a really long cooldown, 70 seconds without it.
There's not a whole lot of heroes that can kill it at the same function as a Lina, though, right?
Right.
Lina, just the speed that she kills it is insane, especially at this point in the game.
Doesn't have the most mana in the world right now for Ego, but does still have that Aegis for another minute with the creep wave in. He's
in.
ready to start beating away at this tower.
31 armor. Not too afraid, but nothing to say. He has a refresher. This could be something that turns it all. I don't think he has mana for everything, but
To get some help. Down bottom, there's some counter pressure being applied on to the tier 3 tower. Tree armor likely will go there, although they're putting it mainly on Ego right now. Pops the BKB, jumps away right at the start. Can they kill off this Lina in time? Broken, dead. That's Aegis down.
did they see the refresher? Nothing to say is going to go for it again.
Thinking about it. Go backs out of there. Still sitting comfortably. The jump in from the Brew. They're going to have a lift up onto the Lina. Takes her down. Now another lift up. But the jump from Alacrity silences onto 2. Gets the coil onto 3. 2 of them there. Not too bad. But they kill off the Wind Panda yet again.
Both teams being so patient to not overextend their bounds.
And with Brew ulti down now, Things are looking kind of rough. Oh no, the counter synergy again! It didn't work the way they wanted it to. Keeping that BKB alive, they turn now, have to walk inside that arena. The second
Stolen
round
arena.
of it. Stolen, it catches on all. Oh, look at the damage! Knights, they just unloaded and everybody's gonna fall. Shiro has to get the heck out of there. LGD didn't know what hit him.
Beautiful symphony of spells. The stolen Marzel to trap him in. Ravage. They call it. Damn.
Holy moly.
What a showing. The whole game felt like it was dictated, really, from Knights. PSG.LGD were just kind of hanging on, keeping up with Farm, but never looking like they can really take a head-on fight. This was an incredible showing, really, from Knights. Everybody doing the right thing. Like, nobody looked like a weak link on their side. They always were kind of dominating the map and just causing